So today I'm super excited because I'm going to be talking about my trusty point and shoot camera, the Olympus Mju. It's also known as in the US as the Olympus Stylus, and yeah, it's the predecessor to the infamous Olympus Mju 2, which is a lot more pricey and expensive. This particular model is the gold trimmed panorama version, and it was made in 1992, a whole year before I was born. So if you can do your maths right, you can guess my age as well. I really enjoy this version of the camera. I think the gold trimmings really add a nice touch to that black shell design it's got, and also the Japanese writing at the back kind of remind me where I got it from as well. Firstly, I want to talk about how small and compact this camera is. You can so easily just have it in your jacket pocket, and also it's great for those times when you don't want to lug around a big camera and you just want to shoot something fun and nothing too serious as well. This has definitely led me to take it out on short trips and nights out where, you know, I'm not shooting any serious work like I said, and I just want to have a bit of fun with it and take some fun snaps for memories more so. So you're rocking with the fixed 35mm lens f3.5 and I'm super blown away about the sharpness and detail you can get from this, you know, tiny little lens it's got on there. I'd also say the autofocus is pretty spot on the majority of the time. There's been a few occasions at night time where I've missed focus, where I've focused on the background, but that could definitely be down to user error. So yeah, majority of my photos have been in focus, so it's really good for that as well. At the time of buying this camera, I'd been looking for a point and shoot camera for a while. I was also looking at the Contax T2, and it was just continuously rising in price. I couldn't justify spending that much money on a point and shoot camera, so I stumbled across this guy in a vintage shop in Japan in 2019 on my trip there, and yeah, kind of just fell in love with the look of it, and also it was priced quite reasonably, especially compared to its, you know, successor, the Mju 2. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to grab a great point and shoot camera. I'm super glad I did buy it at the time that I did, because a few months after that trip I headed to Cyprus, where my family is from, and managed to take some beautiful photos of the homeland with this camera, and it kind of motivated me to keep shooting with it. I wasn't shooting anything crazy with it at the time as well, because I wasn't too sure how the photos were going to come out. So I think I was shooting with Fuji Color 200, but yeah, the colors, the tones, and the detail of some of these images really stood out to me, and yeah, it kind of motivated me to keep shooting with it. Ergonomically, I really enjoy the shutter button. You can press it half the way down and it locks in focus. There we go. It's an example of it taking a photo. But yeah, it's super good because I've got quite chubby fingers, so it suits my big chubby hands for that large button. So it's not all rainbows and sunshine. It does have a few features that I'm not too happy with, which I want to talk about now. And first of all, I like to talk about the flash. It can be a little bit too overpowering at times. I find when I'm in post, I'm often pulling down the highlights because it's kind of blowing them out a bit with the overbearing flash. One helpful tip I would say is I do recommend at night shooting a higher ISO film, maybe a 400 or even an 800. It brings in some more ambient light and counteracts that kind of overbearing flash a bit more, and that's what I found to produce some better nighttime images. Also, it's super handy, you have the function to turn the flash off, especially in scenes when it decides to fire off when there's enough available light, which it sometimes does. And also, maybe you've got a scene where it's going to use the flash and you just want to kind of have that dark image, you can turn it off for that as well. And yeah, I shot a few shots with I think it was an 800 speed film in these low light situations, and I actually found it performed quite well without the flash being used as well. So yeah, that's a handy kind of feature that it has. I've really been enjoying shooting HB5 with this camera. It's given me that really nostalgic feel to these images in black and white, and also you add that grain to it and that softness of a point and shoot, and it really adds to that nostalgia of it. So yeah, I've been enjoying using that when I'm just photographing friends or random things that I'm getting up to. Like I said before, this is the panorama version, but it actually doesn't do anything but just cut the edges of the film or the borders of the image off. so you can't really compare it to a Hasselblad X-Band or anything like that. But yeah, it's a bit of a gimmicky touch for sure, but I do like the way it adds those kind of rigidity edges to the frame. In saying that, I've never actually moved it intentionally to panorama mode. A few times I've just clicked it across by accident, which is a bit annoying. Moving back to another technical aspect, the shutter ranges from 1/15th to 1/500th of a second. So I've never really had any kind of images have any motion blur. Everything seems like it's coming out pretty sharp, which is good. It's funny when you come across other people talking about point and shoot cameras and they talk about it having no manual controls and that they would like to, you know, change some of the manual controls. But I guess the whole point of having a point and shoot is that you're not, you know, worrying about using that, and it's more of something you can, you know, take candid moments where you don't really want to be changing settings or you want to move quickly. So yeah, this camera obviously doesn't have any manual controls apart from the flash and the self timer. These point and shoot cameras tend to be quite fragile. I always recommend keeping it in a nice, you know, soft case, especially if you're bumping it around a bit and you might, you know, drop it sometimes. It's good to have that extra bit of cushioning to stop anything from breaking or harming the camera. But yeah, and also I have this cool strap with it that I bought from Tone Customs, so it swings over my shoulder like so. I've talked about it in another video, but yeah, it's a pretty cool strap and it's nice to have on my side, and I can quickly pull it up and bang, off you go. You can take a nice photo, but yeah, it's nice to kind of have when I'm out and about, and I can just quickly take a snap without worrying about taking it out of my pocket as well. Otherwise, yeah, sometimes I keep it in my pocket. It just depends what I'm up to. Overall, I guess you could probably tell I'm pretty obsessed with this little thing, and I'm definitely going to be keeping it in my camera collection moving forward. I don't plan to sell it or anything anytime soon. If you want to see another video, I took a ride around Brisbane and brought this with me and shot some Kodak Ultra Max. It was quite a gloomy day, but it managed to come out with some nice punchy results even considering. So I'll link that above as well if you want to have a look. But yeah, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do check out my Instagram if you want to see more of my film photography, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.